Hi everyone, it's Dave from Vinyl Nirvana, and we're going to be tuning the suspension on this TD160, on which we've just installed the new spring kit. So as you can see, I've got the turntable back turned over and removed the masking tape, got the platter on, the belt on, the 45 adapter, and it's sitting on the three cans again with the bottom off, so I have access to get to those nuts that are on the springs. So uh, just to take a step back a minute, what you're trying to accomplish is to have the suspension float in a fashion that it's not so far down that it's really loosey-goosey, and it's not so far up that it's hitting the top plate on the underside, which defeats the purpose of the suspension. So you're aiming for that happy medium, and it's the adjustment of those three springs that get you there. And obviously, in order to make sure that this is correct during playback, you want it to happen with the platter and a mat and a record on there, and a record weight if you use that. Just a brief mention that, with the springs and the nuts in a down position, it's really important when you place the platter on to be aware of the pulley, not to smack that with the platter too hard. This one's got a motor protection rod. Some of these don't. I do sell them in my eBay store if you wish to buy one before you attempt this procedure. So the mat's on, and then a typical weight record that you use is on here. And right now what I've got is this suspension being way down. So it's definitely hitting that motor protection rod in the back, and it's not floating at all. It definitely has to go up. So again, the three springs on the underside, I know right where these are because I'm used to doing this, but obviously right now we need to raise this arm board up. It's not floating at all. So I'm going to start by the arm board and just do a few tightens here to get that to start raising up. And you can see that that's hopefully on the camera is starting to raise up. So you can see this is still, well, no, it needs to definitely keep going up. It is not floating yet. Okay, so that's floating now. And what I'm going to do is take our spark plug gap spacer here, and mine has a very smooth side, doesn't scratch the top of the turntable. And I'm going to take that measurement in the back that we've got right now. It's not really taking a measurement, it's just seeing how big that space is. And then I'm going to mimic that on the other two spots. Okay, so this is this distance right now. It's going to be different for every turntable with every different arm. But now I'm going to raise up this front one so it's in a similar height as the back. I'm going to go over here to the side and do these both at the same time and make sure that the suspension is still floating here. I might actually end up going down a little bit on the back because it feels like, no, this needs to go up. Okay, so I'm going to go up on this side, make sure that's floating. I should mention I've also got the turntable plugged in, and we're going to be testing the platter height with that plugged in a minute also. Okay, that's still touching. Well, not touching, but it's not raised on the bottom. It's not floating yet. Wow. Still needs to keep going up. There we go. Okay, so that's truly floating. And for height adjustment here, okay, I need to go up from where we were in the back. I need to go up a couple turns here in the front to equal where we were in the back. Still not hitting there, still not going under there. Make sure I haven't. Okay, we're still easily going down in the back there. Okay, we're getting close. I'm just trying to decide whether to go up in the front or down in the back. Okay, I've got plenty of area to go up, I guess, on both of these, so that's what I'm going to do. One, two, three. Let me see if I've got the height here now. I've got the height there. And 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, I've got the height there. And did I keep it back here? It's still there. Okay, I'm going to turn this on quickly. And now with the belt tension on, we're going to see also if we've got this height. Good. Touching just a tiny bit there. And we're good back there. So we need to raise it maybe 1/3 of a turn here on this side. So we're not touching there. Okay, good. So the next thing is just testing the bounce. This is a nice firm bounce. It's not wiggling too much side to side. It's, these new springs compared to using a pair of 40-year-old springs really gives you a vertical bounce. Wow, I'm really impressed. Now I'm checking the centering in this hole here. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, but it certainly can't touch by the side. And if you need to adjust that, basically you're going to grasp the spring, and because of the nature of the plastic sandwich there between those two washers, you can twist the spring and it'll move fairly easily and center a little bit better. Now I'm going to check the bounce again, make sure I haven't screwed anything up with that. So this is a properly tuned suspension, folks. It is not moving too much horizontally anywhere, and it's moving up and down on the plane relatively easily. It's not touching the bottom, it's not touching the top. This is successful. And any spring can be moved if you feel it needs to be. For example, if this was dipping too much in the front, we can move this spring, just grasp it and turn it until you get that weak side in the place where it's not going to dip at all. And the same thing with the other two if they need be. The two that I usually end up twisting are the one here by the tone arm and then the one here in the front if this is dipping. But again, it's not, I'm really pushing to make that dip like that. For the most part, it's got a nice bounce to it, and I feel that that's a successful tuning job. Hopefully this was helpful to you.